Speedway, we're going to see more classes come through that track, more divisions of race cars than we've seen combined for probably the last 3 years. Hornets, Minis, IMCA modifieds, and Sport Mods modified, sprint cars, dwarf cars, late models. We've got the hard tops, the old timers. I'm looking forward to seeing those.
Iron Giant.
Iron
Stock
Giant
car.
series is coming through. Oh my gosh.
I remember first when I started with Corey, we was doing different things, and I said, which cars was that running? And he says, I don't know what you was talking about. I said, the ones with the open wheel in front, them funny looking ones. It's got the little sideboard down the side. And you mean the mods? I guess. I'd never seen them until I came to Willamette.
Yeah. Super Sports.
Yeah, Super Sports. Sportsman. Late model.
Now, Pro Stocks. We forgot the Pro Stocks. They're coming this year.
That's right.
And we've got a big race coming later in the season too. That is going. I can't wait to see that one.
There are several big races: a $4,000 to win late model show, a $5,000 gig for is it the modifieds? The R. Charles Snyder I believe it's $5,000 to win that gig, and you're going to see every name on the West Coast come through there. I did have a conversation with a driver last week, talking about, trying to get their thoughts and feelings about that particular race. And he says, yeah, we won't be there for that one. We're heading back to Iowa that week. And says, we haven't had any good luck at that track, so I think we're just going to pass on that. All right, well, the rest of us are all going to.
How do you pass on a $4,000 purse?
$5,000.
Well, I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, and to go run, I get it. It's the Iowa, it's the Super Nationals in Iowa.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're going to have 400 cars there, and that's.
We might have 300 at Southern Oregon.
Well, I hope. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, if we even get 80 modifieds, I mean.
I shoot big. I don't shoot little. I shoot big. We're going to have 300 cars. We're going to have 300 cars.
That'd be a big
That's
show.
my prediction.
That's a big show.
So we'll see.
So by noon, when everybody's rolling in and there's 250 cars, you got 50 more on the road.
There
Looks
you go.
like the show's starting early.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because this is I want to say, a pivotal year for Southern Oregon Speedway. And we as a team, and I know you guys have been doing it just as much as I have, contacting and talking to drivers about these big shows and even the weekly shows. Hey, come join us. The response we're getting right now has been pretty good from a lot of guys. I know the California drivers are, excited to come up, which excites me because that's just more cars coming to the track, and I love seeing that Oregon-California rivalry. We get to see it, typically once a year when we're down at Baco. We get to see it, but I want to see it on this side of the border. I want to see those.
I heard there's going to be some cars from Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
We've talked to a couple of drivers that are committed to, and we'll see. We'll see if they show up. But, that's what we do. That's part of what, we don't just show up and get video and announce races. It's about what's best for the racetrack.
There's a lot of work behind the scenes that the fans and the racers don't get to see.
It never stops. Are you guys ready to throw your phones away yet? I mean, how many times a day, Gary, how many times a day does your phone go off?
Less than 1,000, probably more than 100. It just depends. I mean, it'll blow up, and a lot of times, especially when I'm at my day job, I gotta set the phone. I leave it aside.
Here's the thing. Gary has jumped into Moxie 100%. He actually had plans on racing this year.
Really?
He just actually. This is why I'm happy about the people we have.
I'm happy to have somebody over in the pits that knows the cars.
Well, that's the thing. That always makes our job better because he can walk up. He doesn't have to bother the crew. He can look at the guys and say, oh, they're working on a left front tie rod, or they're working on whatever. He knows, this guy knows cars.
He's got a rapport with everybody over there.
Right.
He fits in.
But he doesn't have to walk up, and not that our other people in the past did. They knew cars. They did a good job. But Gary doesn't have to say a word. He just walks up, takes a look. He knows what's going on. And I'm not going to be surprised when I hear that he jumped in to help cars,
change tire,
crews fix stuff, because that's Gary's passion is cars. Okay, he was going to race this year, and he bought a street stock that was partially assembled and took this thing home. And man, I know you're kind of heartbroken about selling it.
Yeah.
Actually just got rid of the car 2 nights ago.
I delivered it 2 nights ago.
No.
Yes.
So, and I almost feel bad about it because I kind of put the pressure. Hey, bud, we'd like to have you on the team. Are you going to come help us out?
Look at his face. I don't believe that. Do you?
and he thought about it, and when he said that he was going to come with us and take the season and wasn't going to race, I thought, oh man, I know it's got to be heartbreaking for him, but good for us. And then I found out he sells his car, and I said, what? He's like, man, he goes, we're Moxie. We're going racing at the track. Well, I'm going to be on the other side.
We either 100% or we ain't at all.
Well, and that's kind of how we do it. We're dedicated.
And being retired like I am. I've got that little extra time that.
But here's the thing about our staff. Obviously, my wife helps out a lot. You guys know that.
Yeah.
But Ed, you've got a wife yourself. You spend a lot of time with Moxie. When you're in that marriage situation, it doesn't matter what side of racing you're on, whether it's media or working on a race car, you're going to spend time doing it. I know that your wife, like many others, get a little frustrated with the time this takes. I appreciate everything you do, your efforts. Gary, same with you. I know your wife was probably happy to see the race car go, but probably doesn't want me visiting anytime soon. You're the guy that took my husband. But it's just an effort. Dave Stahl, Northwest Trucking Academy, has been a sponsor on the show the last couple of years. He's been creeping around, watching what we do and helping out. He actually went to the Bud Nationals to help us out last year. He says, hey, I'm in 100% with you guys this year.
But you know what? He did a phenomenal job last year at Bud Nationals.
Yes.
He fed me more information and told me, what was going on the track. Because, to be honest with you, I have to watch that drone. Mm-hmm. I can't take my eyes off the drone or the screen. I got to know what it's doing 120% of the time. And he would be over there wrecking turn 1, spinning turn 3. He's dead in the water on turn or coming down the straightaway. And he's feeding me this information, and that gives me the chance to spin Moxie C around and get the eyeball on him. And I'll actually fly over there. You guys probably seen me this past weekend. I'll fly over there and see what's going on.
But what's great about that too, what Ed will do is he'll take that, like if there's a wreck, he'll get over the wreck, get the camera over the top, and we'll take that video, we'll chop it up and give that segment to the safety team. Yeah. They can watch that and learn from it.
I won't publish a lot of that. I will not do that.
That stuff doesn't need to be published. If we know the wreck is spectacular and the driver's okay and we get permission from that family, Ed and I will talk about it. Sometimes we'll post it, sometimes we don't.
I just don't feel good about it sometimes.
Especially if a driver's injured, you'll never see it posted. If he walks away from something spectacular like Orsborn did, and had we captured that, I might have talked to his family and said, hey, what do you mind? If you don't, it's not going to get posted. Had he been hurt, it wouldn't have been a discussion.
Well, I also radioed the tower during that too. With the Hornet, the guy that hit the wall down in turn 4.
Ryan Nelson.
And they was down there for a long time, and I just radioed Corey. I said, Corey, let's get the crowd off the wreck. And I just immediately flew the drone up and started filming.
Yes.
And Corey started talking to the fans. Wave to the drone. To me that's a distraction to get them away from the wreck. We did the hoochie coochie out in the middle. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I did.
I think
we did that. Yeah. Moxie C is gonna do the hoochie coochie this coming weekend. And if the fans want to sing along, they can, because he's going to hoochie coochie and spin himself around, left foot in, right foot in. We're going to do the dance.
Is the hoochie coochie the southern version of our hokey pokey?
Yes,
same thing.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's the hokey pokey, but we call it the hoochie coochie.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. See, I'm still learning southern. But, I'm just. Again, I'm honored you guys are a part of the team. I'm proud to have you guys, and we're gonna tear stuff up this year. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna do the best.
No, we don't want to tear anything up.
Well, you know what I mean. When I say tear, we're gonna come in and
I was being facetious.
We're going full speed, but I am excited about this season with this crowd and these cars and all the cars we're gonna see. the winners last Saturday night all did a great job at driving. Every one of them encountered traffic. You want to talk about dominant? We didn't mention David Steele. Remember the 67 mini stock?
Oh, yeah.
How
could you not mention him?
I don't. Do we put up a bet now? Do we put up a bet? Do we put out a challenge? Is he going to? And I don't want to offend anybody, but man, that thing was on rails. Is it possible for a driver? There's so many variables. Is it possible for a driver to sweep the season?
Possible. Anything's possible. But
go ahead, you guys talk.
The hand of fate is always going to deal you something you don't want.
Right.
I've been dealt those hands sometimes, and no matter what kind of hand you got, somebody else has got one better.
Mm-hmm.
And I've in my experience, I've been out front and thought I had it. Especially when I was racing go-karts over in Germany. I thought, man, I got this puppy won. Not. I had some of those German drivers just take me for a lesson. Yeah. And those guys over there, I mean, even driving down the road over there, they'll kill you for 18 feet, the length of a car. They're going to get there before you do. And when you get out on the racetrack, running road courses with the German guys over there and running, oh, you better have your game face on and have your game hands and everything. But you best be ready, because they're going to come and they're going to get you when you least expect it. And all you got to do is bobble, and you're history.
Well, you want to talk about game face? We know one guy that always has his game face on, and you guys,
Me.
Well, we do know that. But one guy in the pit area that is, I tell you, we've had so much fun with already down there. He's got a great attitude. He's there to race. He's hardcore, man. Calling in already to the show. You know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
We're going to put him
about.
live on the air. I want to take a few minutes and talk with Mike Medell. Mike is an IMCA Sport Mod driver in the number 30M. Mike, you there, bud?
I'm here.
How you doing?
Awesome.
Good. Hey,
Awesome.
Saturday night probably wasn't the greatest start, or you probably saw the start of the season going a little different in your head. I want to talk about the early stages there in that race that took out that left front tire and how you managed to even finish that race.
It was actually the first turn of the first lap.
The first turn of the first lap.
Yeah. I only had contact one time. Me and Wyatt Westfall, we got together. It was barely. Wyatt's an awesome guy, great driver. It's a racing thing. And I cut the tire. I started feeling the track a little bit, more than what you normally would. But I just kept driving through it, and then it was that tussle with the leaders and the lap guys, and there was that thing that brought the yellow, and then Dwayne Melvin, he kind of felt the brunt of that. I was kind of pretty sad that he got sent to the back.
Well, he was another guy that was on rails. He was flying as well in that 69 car. You were, the job you did of manhandling, and you truly had to manhandle that car for, 24 laps or whatever it was, inside that car. Let's talk about what was going on in your mind, because you stayed in the top 5 and you were mixing it up with these guys.
Yeah, I got that, when that happened, I got the signal that I had a left front flat, and I was like, it's a left front, so yippee. But then I don't want to pull in and then come out 4th and then restart 21st. And so I took a chance. It ended up being probably not exactly the best idea. But, sometimes you have to stick your stuff out there and hope for the best. And it didn't work out. The last few laps, I just couldn't drive through the car. It just started pushing, and it was the first race, and you don't need to destroy your equipment on the first race. So I pulled off, and I wasn't mad. I kind of viewed it as a really good race, because the car was awesome.
Well,
at least for like 15 laps.
Yeah, all things considered, that could have been Yeah, you're right. It could have